Hello everyone, thought I'd just come on today and tell you about Dolly's day. Obviously you know that by now she's settled in. Let's give her to the weekend. She's had that, the family away, they're now back. Over the weekend she'd been given a list of the things she needed to do, and I thought I'd just come on and let you know what they were. At 6 o'clock in the morning she was told she must get up from her bed. She must wash and dress, obviously in cold water because the water would have been standing in the jug on the dresser overnight. When she'd had her wash, she must make her hair neat and make it neatly tied back. No bits hanging out, nothing. By 6:30 she must have made her bed and be ready downstairs to start her day's work. The first thing she had to do was to stoke the range and to make sure that it was ready to heat the water for tea, for the early morning drinks, for the servants and, of course, any of the family that needed to be up early. Her next chore then was to move on, and she had to go into all the female servants' rooms and empty chamber pots, gazundas. She then took them to the sluice and they were washed out with a cloth and vinegar to keep them fresh. And this cloth was kept solely and only for the chamber pots. Then, after this had been done, she was to help the lower servants in the hall downstairs to sort out all the tea for the upper servants, their morning cup of tea, because they got to have their cup of tea before they started work, not like the lower servants, obviously. Her next chore, after she had done the tea for the upper servants, was to clean the kitchen thoroughly, then to do the passageways between the kitchen and the other rooms, clean out the pantries, and also to clean out the scullery and make it spick and span. By now it was 7:30 in the morning. The cook would come in from her little cottage down the road, and our Dolly was made to curtsy and wish her a good day. At 7:45, Dolly would then be asked to lay the tables in the servants' hall for their breakfast. At 8:15, breakfast for the servants was served, and she cleared the table at the end of it. After she'd washed this up, it would work out to be about 9:15. She was then told to pop back to her bedroom, put on a clean white apron, tidy her hair, and be downstairs in the main hall, ready for morning prayer, which everybody had to do. They had no choice, and this was the only time Dolly would be seen upstairs. The rest of the time, she must make herself invisible to the family. At 10 o'clock, she was back in the kitchen. She was washing and cleaning all pots and pans from upstairs for the breakfast. At 10:30, she must lay the servants' table for their mid-morning cup of tea, maybe a biscuit if they were lucky. At 11 o'clock, the tea was served in the servants' hall, and after this was done, she then had to again clear the table and wash up all utensils. After she had done this, she then had to go to the kitchen once again and to help the kitchen maid and the cook with the preparations of the servants' dinner and the family's luncheon. She also, while doing that and helping them, would have to make sure that the kitchen was kept spotless at all times. There was never to be dust on the sides, no soot on the fender, nothing. Everything had to be spotless. And she also had to make sure that she fitted in between doing all that to make sure that she looked after all the washing up that the cook and the kitchen maid made. And obviously, if she had made any washing up, she had to do that as well. By 12 o'clock, midday, she must eat her lunch in the kitchen. She had to sit there to keep her eye on the luncheon of the family cooking while the others all went to relax and enjoy their lunch in the servants' hall. The second butler had to lay this particular meal, and he also had to clear it, but he didn't have to wash it up because guess who? Dolly. Her afternoon duties. At 1 o'clock she had to wash up all the servants' dishes and the family luncheon dishes. And then, if she was very lucky, providing all her chores were done, she got 1 hour off, from 2:30 to 3:30, to do what she wanted to do, which was probably just sit in the servants' hall, sit on her bed. By 3:30, she had to then lay the tables in the servants' hall ready for their tea. 4 o'clock, tea was served in the servants' hall, and she then would have to clear again. By 4:30, she was back to the kitchen to carry on with any chores that needed doing, washing up the servants' dishes from the tea, as well as utensils for making the family's tea. Also, she had to help the kitchen maid with any preparations for the family meal, which would be later that evening. And also the servants' supper. She'd have to help get that ready. And also continuously, during this, washing up the pots and pans and anything that was used by anybody in the kitchen. After family dinner had been served, she must again go back to the kitchen, clean the whole of the kitchen, clean all the passageways between, clean the pantries and the scullery. You can imagine by now she was starting to get really tired, bless her heart. By 9:30, supper was served in the servants' hall. The second footman again would lay and clear this particular meal, and she of course would have to do all the washing up, which she did. And then, if all had gone well and she got all chores done on time, she was allowed to stop work at 9:30 till she was required to go to bed. I suppose in some houses it was different, who knows. But she'd probably spend that time in the servants' hall feeling quite worn out. You imagine getting used to all that lot. How difficult it must have been. And then I suppose by 10:30, when all lights were out, she'd take her candle, trip up the stairs, and I can imagine after a quick cat's lick of a wash, she would fall into bed. I wouldn't think the room was very warm, but I'm sure getting into bed was the best thing that could happen at the end of a day like that. So, thank you everyone for listening in to Dolly. I'll be with you soon with another little episode. Bye.